Hello everyone, welcome to the new video. In this video, we are going to implement React authentication with JWT. But before jumping to that, let me tell you, previous name of my YouTube channel was Learn to Code with Sagar. I have renamed it to Coding Partner. So show your love by subscribing to the channel. Now let's get started to the video. You can see here we have the login page, register page and login page. Let's register first. Name it John. A quick demo of what we are going to implement in this video. So email john@gmail.com and password as per your wish. And we can select the roles also, whatever role like super admin, admin and user. And according to the role, we are going to show, we are going to authenticate to the particular pages. So for now, I can make it admin, right? And on clicking register, you can see the form is cleared and we got message like user registered. Go to the login page. We can jump to the login page and here we can provide the username and the password. On clicking login, you can see we have this home page, not so beautiful, but yeah. So here we have our application uh, logo or name. Here we are welcoming to the John, and at this side we have multiple links for the multiple pages. Currently we are in the home page. We have super admin page also. So as this user is an admin, he cannot access to this super admin, right? That's why we are getting here message you are not allowed to view this page. But yeah, he is definitely a admin, so he should open the admin page. So here you can see this is admin page and admin can open the user also. So this is user page. And even if you copy the URL and open in the new tab, you will directly get login. So you don't need to log in again and again. Even if you close this, the Google Chrome tab and again open the Google Chrome and directly jump to the domain, you will get entered to the application. Again on logout we have like basic validations like enter all the fields. Here also if you put wrong password here, you will get error in login, right? So in this application we are calling the API, storing, getting the proper JWT token, and on the basis of that token we are checking whether token is valid or not, also checking the role. So we are basically doing all the things which we basically do in the live project. So you will get all the knowledge how the authentication should actually work, and even we are going to implement that. So with theoretical knowledge you are going to implement and doing the practical also. If this is going to be hard for you, I have already created one more React login and sign up application where I have used local storage. So there I'm not calling the API or anything. We are clearly storing that data in the local storage and getting from that, right? So now we got to know what we are going to implement. But sometimes coding is very easy, but understanding the logic, how we are going to make it, how the approach should be, that part is hard. So let's understand how we are going to approach this application. So in front end we have register page, right? Name, email, password and role. So on clicking the register, we are going to call one API which will check all the things like whether email is already exist or not. If not, it will allow us to create that user, and we'll check the password also, password follows the length or not. So it's basically a backend API work. We don't have to focus on that. So if that user is registered, they will return us 2000 status code, and from login we need to pass that username and password, right? So in backend again, API will check username and password both are correct or not, and according to that they will give us a JWT token. So now we receive the JWT token. So what should we do? So we have to store that JWT token We can store that in local storage or session storage according to your application. Once you store in the session storage, if the tab gets closed, you will not able to like directly jump to the application. But if you store that in the local storage, you will be able to directly jump to the application. And after that, we can go to the home page. But home page will call again API to get the user data. So whatever the JWT token we have stored in the local storage, that JWT token we have to pass with every API call. Then only the backend will get to know this user is authenticated user and we should provide this data to this user, right? And again we will have logout button. So on logout button, what we have to do, we have to like delete the JWT token from the local storage. Also, we can clear the data, and we can, if there is any API in the backend, that also we can call. Let's look what we will need. We are going to call the API, so we will use the Axios, right? Then we are going to jump from pages to pages, so we will need React Router DOM. To store the JWT and user data, we can use Redux or hooks as per our convenient or project requirement. But in this application, I'm not storing the data in the Redux or in any of the state, right? In local state, definitely we are going to use, but not a Redux or any state management library. So this is what basically we will need. Now let's jump to the uh, code. I have already created one sample project here where I have created one login page and register page. So if you don't know from where I have taken, so just search on Google HTML, sorry, login and register HTML page free, right? So here you will get free front end. Just jump there and we can take any of the template, but let me tell you, this is what I have used. So you can click on the demo and code, so it will jump to the code pane. I have copied all the styles from here. Also I have copied the login page HTML from this place, and I have used that in login and register. So nothing much, just I have used the same. Let me close this one. And our application is running on port 5174. Whatever we are going to implement, it is on this port. For backend, uh, I have used the express auth. So here, if you come in README, you will get to know what APIs we have to call for register, what for login, and what kind of data we need to pass, right? And to get data, user data, what API is there. And again, if you are going some advanced, we have created super admin, URL, admin, and user. So according to, so only super admin can call this API, right? So according to their privileges, they can call this API. So we are going to use this, right? So let's get started on this part. First, we will implement the register page, then login, and after that, we can do some other things. But before that, let me add one more thing. We can add React Router DOM, right? So if you search React Router DOM, but before that, let me close other tabs. Okay, and now you will get here. Now search install. Okay, on install, this is what the npm install command is. On installing it, you will get that in the package.json. It will take some time, not much, but yeah, some. Okay, it is installed now. In app.tsx, what we have to do, we have to add the browser router. So let's do that. Browser router. Okay, and it is auto imported, and I'm closing that with browser router itself. So we need to add the routes. And in routes we have to declare the route. Okay, so it will be auto close, and here we have to like show the path. Now we have currently login page. For login page, which element we have to like show. Okay, login component, and same way we will here have register, and the path for that is register. Okay, now if you come to the at this place and type here login, this is what our login page is, and if you write here register, this is what our register page is. Let me close other tabs. Now in the register form, what we can do is whatever the data is inserted here for name, email, password, and role, that we can take in the state, right? But before that, let's add here, we will need roles also, because we have kept here only name, email, and password. So let's do that. Just jump and type here drop down in HTML, jump to the W3 school, and this is what we need to use, right? We can add here just below the email, and instead of for, it will be HTML for, right? And here we will use a role, ID will be role, name will be role, choose a car, instead of choose a car, role, right? So here we will need to add like our things like super admin, right? So super admin, not doing, we will not do in this way. Instead we will create enum roles, right? Here we will have super admin, whose value will be super admin. We will have two more, admin and user, right? User. Okay, role. So we can use this enum. Instead of this, let's write here roles dot super admin, roles dot admin, and roles dot user, right? In value also we can provide the same way. Okay, let's use that super admin, and here it will be admin, and at last it will be user. Okay, that's it. Now we need one interface. Okay, interface I user, we can say I user model, right? Here we will have name which will be of type string. Then we will need email, which will be of type string again, and password, which will be of type string again, and role, right? This will be of type roles. Okay, let's create one state const which will hold the register form data, set data, right? Then we can use here use state, and to the use state we can say that this data is going to be of type I user, right? And here we need to pass the default data. So default data, how we can pass, name will be empty, email will be again empty, roles, in role we can make user role as like a default one, and password, that will be again empty. I think I have made mistake at this place, spelling mistake. So let's rename this one F2, right? Small s, and we can change its value also. Okay, fine. Now we need one handler, right? So whenever user type here change here something, we will get that event in handle input change, right? If you have visited my channel earlier, you might got idea like how we do this. Okay, let's write here handle input change. Handle input change will be arrow function, and it will give us event. Now we need to define here the type. So if you hover on the on change, you will get react change event, which will be our type HTML input element. So let's use that react change event, and we can particularly write here for which element. So for now it's HTML input element. Now we can take id from it. Id from the event dot target will have this event dot target points to the exact this input element, and it will have all the properties whatever we have used at this place, like type, placeholder, id, all that will come in the target, right? And we need value also. Okay, so target dot value, right? Now we get id and value. So by id we will get to know which element it is. It is name, email, role, or password. And from value we will get what is the current value, and that we need to set in the set data. You can name it form also, because it is representing to form, right? Let's call this set data, and here we need to pass the existing whatever the data is there. By this way we can clone it, right? And we have to update only specific particular uh, property which we can update in this way, and there we need to pass the value whatever user have input in type in the name field, right? So this is what we can do. So for input we have provided this on change element, and we need to pass the value data dot name. Okay, so same way we need to pass this to the email, right? So instead of name, type here email. For role also we can do. So let's type here value, and it will be data dot role. It will also have on change, right? We can use the same handle input change, but it is saying like the expected type comes from property on change, which is declared here on type. Okay, so we need to use HTML select element. So let's go to the handle input change. With HTML input element we can say like it can have other, that is HTML select element. Okay, so this particular method is handling input element and drop down select element, right? Okay, and again we need to copy this for password. Instead of role, let's type here password, and we are done with this. Now once user click on the register button, this form will get submitted for on submit, right? Let's create one handle form submit. Okay, let's create function for this. Okay, here also we will get event. If you hover on the on submit, you will get to know its type of react form event, and here HTML for element. So form submit have its default behavior. It redirects or refresh, so we need to prevent that. And if there is no data, like, so on form submit what we have to do, like first we have to check data dot name should not be empty. If it's empty, or data dot email is empty, or data dot password equals to empty, it means user have not submitted this data, right? So either we can show the error message in the form, or for now to keep it simple we can just say alert, please submit, please fill the form, right? And after this we have to return, because we don't have to do other activity. right? So this is thing. And if he have enter all of this data, then we need to call the API to register user, right? Register new user. How we can do this? We will need, okay, we will need Axios now. So let's install that. Npm Axios, right? So it will install. And if you go to the package.json, you will got to know that package is installed. So, okay, so it is installed, and at this place you will see, okay, where it is, yeah, at this place Axios is installed, right? But before that, let's do some cleanup activity. We will move this interface and the enum in new file outside the component folder inside the src. Let's write here, create here one folder, name it model, and inside model let's create one file, authentication.ts, or auth you can directly use, right? Auth, let's choose auth, and move all of that. Let's delete from here and move in the auth.ts, and wrote here like export, we have to export, and same user also we have to export. Now in the register we are getting this error. We need to import that by control dot. We get first option to import, and for role also control dot. Okay, so we have moved that code for cleanup. Now we need one service folder. So service, in service I will create one more http service. I will tell you why I am doing this. In this http service we will have all the things, means let's write first import Axios, okay, from Axios. So whatever the things related to Axios we will write in this file, okay. And let's export few of the things, like we are going to export get axios.get method, and we will, okay, okay, not like this. Then we will need post also, axios dot post, right? So we don't need delete or patch as of now, but if we need it we will wrote here, right? Now create one more service. Let's name auth service dot ts. So what auth service will do, it will have one function, register user, right? Register user, which will be of array function, and here we will get user, or you can say just data, and its type will be iUser, which we have wrote in the model auth, right? And this is going to be called the Axios get or post, sorry. For that, let's import HTTP service, right? From the HTTP service we just wrote here, right? So let's use that HTTP service, and we will use post. So in post what we need to pass the data. Okay, data, I think as a second parameter, first is a URL, second is the data. So we will need here URL first and then data. Now if you come to the Axios service again, here we need to set the default path. We like, if you come to the express auth and in readme, this is what domain which we are going to call every time, right? Localhost 3000. So we are not going to call it or write it at every place. That's why we need to set it only once, like axios.default and base URL. Okay, we can set base URL here and close this one. Now come to the auth service, and we just need to write here like user. or again we will need readme of the express to register user. How we have to write, like auth register, auth register. Okay, so auth register, and again in http service we need to add last api. Earlier we copied the incomplete url. Now in auth service we have called auth register and passing the data, and we can just return this one. Okay, fine. So its type, what is the type of it is promise. Okay, promise and axios response. So let's use that promise, and particularly in that axios response. Okay, this one, and let's export this, export register user. Now we can call directly register user from the register, right, from handle form submit. So let's call this register user and import by control dot. Here we can pass the data, right? As this is async method, so we need to await, as we have wrote here await, we need to make this as async. Okay, so why we are doing async and await in the same function? In live project we don't follow this pattern, because we should not await the, like directly call the api methods directly from the event handler methods. So in that case there is like we mostly use the redux or other thing, state management library, and there have like a dispatch method. So we need to dispatch the event from this place. So the api calling and data storing will happen from the state management library, but as we are not using it here, we can directly write in this way also. So we will get this in the result, right? In the result, whatever we call api, we should basically add that in the try catch, move this code in the try catch. Okay, and let's write, log this console.log result, and if by any case there is a error, we should alert the user, like alert some error happened. And even we can get the error, like let's type here any, by default it will be any, and we can append the error message as well. Let's make it, okay, in error what we will have, I think response, or better, we will do one thing, we will first log this error, so we will get to know what kind of data it will have. Console.log error. Okay, fine. Let's do this first. Now let me close this tab, and on this portal 5174, let's open this network tab also, and we can create one user, name it like Sagar, and email sagar@gmail.com. It will, he will be user, and password I can type anything, and click on the register. So you can see we have called the register api. If you come to the header, here you will see we have called, and we got 400 bad result. If you see in the response, I think there is no response. Let's use some other email address and click on the register. If you see here, we have like 201, and response is like user created successfully. Okay, so I think this is calling the api and creating the user. Now in register, if like we get the result, right, so we can check the status, result dot status. If we get 201, 201 means user created, 200 means it's just success, and else means there is something other problem. In that case also we can type, we can have the error message like error registering new user. And if it is success, what we have to do is we have to clear this form, right? Set data, we have to clear this. So from this place we will clear this. How? By passing the default data. And what is the default data? This one. Okay, it's better to keep this in a one variable and use it again and again, instead of writing at this place and again at this place. Let's do that. Default data, which will be of type I user, and at this place we can paste, and default data we can use uh, at this place and again in resetting the data. Okay, I think as of now we are good. Okay, so once it is like succeed, we can show the again alert like user created, user registered, click on login, right? Okay, so in demo what I have showed you is like we are showing the message at this place, but to keep it simple in the programming, I'm using the alert. That's not a problem. And if you come at the bottom here, after like register, we are having the Google and Facebook icon, which we don't need. We need here a login button, login or link basically. So name of this link is login, and here we will tell like where we need to jump. We need to jump to the login, right? Okay, so let's do it one more time. Bob, here bob at the rate gmail.com. Password, he will be a super admin. Okay, let's write password will be temp and click on register. So here user register, click to login. Okay, and you can see the form is cleared. Now we can click on the login to jump to the login page. That's good. In same way we can do in the login page as well. So first thing we will do, we will just copy this one, and at this place instead of login and so Facebook, we will write the link. From login page we will need to redirect to the register, and URL will be register. Okay, so same way we need to create one interface here, one interface I login form we can make, or I login is also sufficient. Here we will have email, which will be of type string, and password again string. So better to move this into a model. We have this model right here, export, and our new interface. Let's save this one. If you come to the login, let's create here data and set data, use state to like store this data, and here we can provide the interface I login. We just wrote that. We can pass the default data here, email, which will be empty, and password that will also be empty by default, right? Okay, so from register what things we copy? We can copy this one, handle input change, right? So let's use that, handle input change. But in login page we don't have the drop down, so we can remove, select element, and again from register what we can copy, this value and on change, which we can pass to the email and password. So instead of name, here we need to pass email, and instead of again name, here we can pass the password. Okay, good. On form submit, we can have on submit, right? Handle form submit. Okay, just we did in the register, right? Okay, here we will get event. So let's do that event, which will be of type react dot form event, right? And in form HTML form element. Okay, so what is this event? Okay, form event, right? So in event dot prevent default, in same way we can do the validation at this place also, like data dot email. If it's empty, okay, if it's empty, equals to empty, or data dot password equals to empty, we can like say the alert, please fill the form, please fill all the fields, right? And after that we can just return, and below that we can just call login API, right? So let's check in the express readme. For login we have to call auth login, and we have to pass email address and password. Let's close this and come to the auth service. Here let's write login. Okay, login, and at this place we can take email address and password, and we can just return http service. And we need, okay, let's check again in the readme. This is going to be again post method, right? Because we are going to submit the form, and API is auth login. Let's check auth and login. Okay, good. And we can pass the data. Okay, not, we will not do in this way. We will just take the data, and here we will type I login, and this data as it is we can send to the login API. Here also we can type the return type of it, like promise. Okay, my mistake, promise, and inside that Axios response. Let's export this one. Now in login, here we can have the try catch. From try catch we can call the login from auth service, and here we can pass the data. We can take this result in one variable. Let's if like result dot status code. Okay, so we have to like await here, and this function will be, handle function will be async, and in result we will get status. If we get 200, it means we have logged in successfully. And here also we will get the token, right, that we need to store in the local storage, and after that redirect to home page. Otherwise we can just show alert error in login. Okay, so let's first do the console log, what result we get in the log, right? Now jump to the application, again open the inspect element, and in console we can clear this. We just created Bob, and email is I think temp at the rate 12345. Okay, click. So on clicking here we have called the login API, which have given us the token and data. And in console also we have printed that in data we will get token and data, right? So what we can do in login, uh okay, in model what we can do, we can create one more interface, like interface I login response. Okay, in response what we are getting, token, which will be of type string, You can add data also, like which will have email address, ID and role. So you can do that. For now I will just use token. If you go to the auth service, here in Axios response we can pass here login response, like what kind of response this API is giving us. So we can write in this way. Now jump to the login, and if you write like result dot data dot token, here you will get token. So first thing we have to do, we have to store that token in the local storage. So come to the auth service again. Here we can create one method, set token, right? We will get token which will be of type string, and we can just store that local storage. First property, okay, we have to like set atom. Here it will be a key, right? So we can do like uh, token. So we will directly use the key, okay, and here we can pass the token. So it will just store whatever token we got that in local storage with key token. As we have like store, we will need that also, right? So instead of set, we can get that. Instead of set atom, we can do the get atom. So we don't need to pass any data here, we just need to take, and we can do the return simply. Okay, let's export this get set atom and get token, set token and get token. Okay, for get token we don't need any parameter. Now if you jump to the login tsx again, let me close the other files not to get confused, right? So we don't need log like console log, we just need set token. Okay, and here we can pass result dot data dot token. Okay, now after setting the token, we have to like redirect to the home page. So how we can do is, we need one more hook, that is use navigate. Okay, use navigate is basically from the React router DOM, and we have to like take its instance in the one variable, that is navigate. So if you come here after setting the token, we can navigate to the home page. I have just write the slash, so it will point to the home page, but we haven't created any of the home page as of now. Okay, so before that, let's write one more alert at this place, alert uh, error in login, right? If you want specific error, whatever the backend is sending to us, like password is correct or user does not write present, so we can use this error property directly to show the message. Okay, now if you come here in app.tsx, here we don't have the home component. So in component I can create one home.tsx home component, right? So let's do that. Home component, in home component we can just return some div as like welcome, and let's export the home, export default home. As our theme is like black color, so we need to provide here color. For now I can just make white. Okay, and in app.tsx let's write one more route. Okay, bad, I have used another one route, and here we can pass the path will be just slash, and element will be the home element, right? Okay, let's do that. Now let's keep this. Okay, okay, Bob and password temp @ 1 2 3 4. and click on login, we have redirected to the home page, and here is what our welcome message. Few things to remember: in if you go to the application and if you go to this our website, here you will see we have this key token, and here is our value, this token, right? I will tell you what there is in the token also. Let's copy this token and jump to the jwt.io, as we have used the token from the JWT. In encoded, let's delete this and paste ours. So this token is divided into three parts: header, payload, and verify signature. So in for front end, we don't have to deal with header and verify signature. What we need to concern is payload. So in payload, let's check what is there. We have email address, ID, role, and expiry time also. Okay, this is the expiry time, right? So what we can do, from token we can take the expiry time, and we can check whether this token is valid or not, right? So let's do that. If you come in the auth service, here is what we are doing, all the token related things. Let's write one function: const is token valid. Okay, if token is not valid and still the token is present uh, in the local storage, so every time we will say like user is valid, 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 and we will directly give entry to the home page. But we have to check whether that token is valid or not, right? So first what we have to do, we need to like extract that token data. So let's create one more get token data. So we will need token first. So let's take token from get token method. Here we got the token. Okay, if there is no token, like if token, okay, if there is nothing, it will be a null. If it will be a null, we will just okay, we will just return. If there is no token, we will just return, right? And if there is token, so we need to like split this in dot, in dot. So why I'm doing this? So if you see, token is divided into three parts: red color, then this pink color, and this again color, which are separated by dot, right? We need the, this will be a zero index, this will be one index, and this is going to be a second index. So after splitting, we will need index 1, right? So let's name it payload, and this payload we need to parse it to like A to B. As this is decrypted, we need to encrypt it, and this encrypted we will need to like parse, right, in parse, because all of this activity we are doing in the string format, but we have to like, we want this, all of this as a like object, right? So that's why we have to like parse. Now we can do one more thing. We can like, I can just copy this format and create one interface again. Okay, in auth itself I can create one interface: export interface I token data, right? Okay, now we, instead of this, it will be string, ID will be string, role will be again string, and expiry is the number. We don't need IAT, right? So let's use this to like convert this parse. Okay, how we can do? As I token data, let's import this and return the uh, converted data. Okay, so whatever that payload in the token is, that we are converting into the I token data, and I token data is nothing but we will get email ID, role, and expiry time. Okay, so is token valid, we will need get token data, right? So this will give us data, token data. And if this is null, like if token data is equals to null, we will tell like token is not valid, because if there is no token, it means this is not valid. But if it have data, means it will have the expiry exp also. Now we need to like multiply this by 1000. Okay, and this time should be greater than the current time, date dot now. Date dot now, it should be greater than this time, then only token will be valid. Let me show you the example. Let's copy this one and open, inspect the element in console. What we can do now, this is what expiry time is. We can just multiply it by 1000 and greater than date dot now. Okay, so we have just created this token which is valid for I think 10 or 15 minutes. So which comes greater than of this time. But if I make, instead of 17, if I make here 15, okay, so this token, this expiry time is not valid. This is how we are implementing this logic at this place. Okay, so let's export. This is token valid, get token data, and get token also. All of these things we will need, right? If you come in the app.tsx, we have directly jumped to the home page without validating like token is there or not, which is not good. So we can create one private route, right? Okay, spelling mistake. And private route will check whether token is there or not. So get token. Okay, or we can directly take is token valid, right? Because is token valid returns false if token is not valid. So we can do that. And if we can use the if block, if token is not valid, like I can make it false, is token valid will return true. It means we will allow, and if it's false, we will make it true, and we will redirect to login page. So to do that, we can use navigate here, and to the navigate we need to pass the where we have to like navigate. So here we will pass, we need to navigate to the login, right? And if it is true, if token is valid, we need to uh, open our outlet. Let me tell what outlet is. Okay, so here again, to use the private route, we have to follow this pattern. We have to write one more route. Route will have the path will be slash only. In element, we will have to use the route private route, which will call this. If token is not valid, it will call the login, and if token is valid, it will call the outlet means we have to move this route, like this home route inside that. Outlet means it will call the route inside the private route. Okay, so this is what we are doing. So if you come to this place and refresh it, okay, just do one thing, just delete this token and try to jump to the home page. See, we have redirected to the login page because there is no token available. Okay, now comes the let's login one more time. Okay, so we have come to the home page here, and if we see the token, Bob is a super admin, right? So in home page, first we should write like welcome Bob. So let's jump to the home page. Here we will need a user data. Okay, so to get the user data, we should have the API as well. Let's create one more service, name it user service .ts. Okay, oh, not a folder, we have to create a file. Let's delete this one and create file user service .ts. In our service we have imported this one HTTP service, so let's do that in user service as well. Create here one function like get user. We will get here ID, and according to that ID we are going to fetch the user data. So in user HTTP service we have this get method, right? So how we can do, if you again check the URL, so we have to use like user and we have to pass the ID. Okay, in this way we are going to use, and ID will nothing but, I'm using here string interpolation. If you don't know this one, just look for the ES, I think ES6 version. You will get all the new things whatever I did, right? So here we are going to get the promise, and from promise here we will get Axios response, as we have already checked that one. Now in home.tsx, what we can do, we can just call that get user API, right? So API we called from the use effect, we don't call directly. And second parameter will be empty array, because we have to call only once, right? We will create here one function fetch user data, and this function will be a async function, and this is going to call the get user. Okay, we have not exported the get user. Let's do that. Export the get user, and in home component we can use that get user. So here we have to pass the ID, right? How we can get the ID? We know we have created one get token data, right? We have already created that one, so let's take that in one variable token data. If there is no token data equals to null, it means we don't have the token and the valid data, right? In that case we should not be on the home page, we have to like navigate back to the login component, right? So how we can do, we have already done that in the login page, right? So we can use hook, use navigate, and we can use this navigate variable. Here we can pass a login. Okay, so if there is no token data, it will call the login, and if there is data, it means we have the ID, so it will take the, okay, what it is saying. Okay, so from this place we just need to like return, and we can take this as a result. And to check this one, we can do the console.log. Console.log. As I earlier said, we wrap all of these things in the try catch. So write try catch and move this code inside the try catch. If there is error, again we will navigate to the login, right? Okay, now we can call this fetch user data. Why I'm making the spell mistake, I don't know. Okay, call the fetch user data, and we can wait for this. Okay. Okay, what it is saying, like, okay, fine, no problem, we can just call the fetch user data, right? So let's check what kind of data it will give to us. If you come here and go to the console and type here the Bob and his password and click on the login, I think something wrong. Okay, yeah, it will not get the user data. It is saying like unauthorized access token is missing. As I said in the that PPT earlier, at the starting we have to pass the token to this API. Then only backend API will get to know that user is a valid user. So how we can do? We have to pass that token uh, to the API, right? So in HTTP service, here we will do that. In Axios we have like interceptors. We can write for the request. So whatever request we are going to call, for that we have to write. So this is basically a middleware we are writing. So we can just return the config. Okay, so whatever in config we will add, like config will have config. Okay, in config we have the headers, then authorization. In authorization we have to add bearer. Okay, bearer, and here we need to pass the token. Okay, string interpolation means, okay, token. So we need to take the token first. Now const token, so we have this get token already created. We can like pass this token at this use at this place, and we can pass that to the header. Now if you jump back and try to log in again as a Bob, password again, and click on the login, see, we got the response, right? So if you check in the headers, you will see here this is our token have been passed, and in response if you check, we are getting ID, name, email, and role, right? So I will do one thing. I will close this one. In user service we are getting this. I can directly use iUser interface. We have this one, but iUser text have the password field also. So either we can create a new one, or I can use the same. Okay, so it means we got the response as a like result dot data. We can store that response in the state data set data, right? Use state, which will be of type I user, and it's, we can have the default data, or just make it null for now, no problem, we can do that. So we can call the set data, instead of console.log, call the set data. So in data we will get, okay, null is not accepting, so let's do that. Name empty, email address empty, again password, yeah, this should not be there, but no problem. And I think it will have the ID also. Okay, roles dot user by default. What it is saying? Okay, no, we will need to create new interface. A user will not work. Export I user response. What it will have? It will have ID, string. Again, let's check. ID, name, email, and role. ID, name, email, and role. Okay, I can just make string as a for now, And let's use this in the user service. Instead of user, let's use iUser response. Okay, and to the home.tsx, here it will be iUser response, right? It will not have password. We are setting the data once we get the response. Now what we can do, we can pass the data at, so we can say welcome data dot name, welcome John, welcome Bob, whatever. So here you can see welcome Bob. So this is pretty much about like authentication we have done. We have to like add the logout button at this place. So let's do that. I will first wrap this div inside React fragment, and let's add here one button. Name it logout, log out. Here we can have the on click button, handle log out, right? So let's create this function const handle logout. So what it will do, we have to first delete the token. So we can just call set token and not set token. Okay, and here we can pass the empty. So token will get replaced with the empty. And after that, we have to like navigate back to the login page. Navigate back to the login page. So this is what logout will do for us. Let's check. But before that, let's check in the application. We have this token value. On clicking logout, the token is value is deleted and we are successfully redirected to the login page. Now we have to do the permission related things. Okay, so here we will have the some links like home, super admin, admin, and user, the authorization thing. Okay, as of now we have made the good progress. Now we will need to check the pages as per the role. So we will create super admin page, and user page. Let's create that. Super admin dot tsx, one more admin dot tsx, and one more for user dot tsx. Okay, let's create a component for that. User, and return div. This is user page, and let's export default user. Okay, user component. Same way we can just, let me copy this. In super admin we can paste, and instead of user, let's rename this to super admin, right? And let's copy the same, and in admin.tsx we can rename this to admin. Okay, so what we can do in app.tsx, right here, if any of the route, like any of the route have super admin here, we will render super admin component. Super admin, yes, this one. Then same for admin, let's rename this one, and one more for user, right? User component, okay, right, user component. And we can add 3 more links in the home page. Okay, I think we have logged out. Let's again log in. Password time @1234. Okay, so here we have to add the links. Let's do that in a home component. So see, if we add the layout like a navigation bar and logout button in the home component itself, that layout will not persist for the super admin and admin or user component, because it is specifically for the home. So, and we want same layout for uh, all the other components which are we are going to show when user is logged in, right? So what we can create, is we can create one layout component, layout.tsx. This component will be basically a layout for our application. Const means constant layout for our application. So it will have now, right? In a now, what we have, we will have one div where we will have like my app name, and one more div inside. Okay, one more div inside that we can add the link, right? Like first we will add home, and we can redirect this to home, then super admin. Okay, super admin we can redirect to super admin, then admin we can like point to the admin, and user, right? User, here we can make user. After that we can have the one like main. Okay, main, let's name it main, and here we will have the pages. Okay, right. If home page calls this layout, so its content will be shown at this place. If super admin calls this layout, its content will be shown at this place. So all other things like this navigation and whatever like footer we are going to add for logout button. So here we can have the logout button, this logout button, right? So we can keep it here. We can move this logout button code function in the layout itself, so everyone will have this. Let's import this set token and navigate. Also we can uh, write this code from home component to layout, right? Okay, this is pretty much. I think we will need to adjust some css also, but yeah, that we can do. So in home what we can do is like we can just keep this welcome message and remove the logout. We don't need this handle logout in the home.tsx. We just need in the layout. Now in app.tsx, let me close this login one. In similar way, here we have wrap all of this in the private route, right? We can again write one more like wrap all of this in the layout. Okay, route, and here we can have the path. Okay, path and element. So instead of like private route, we will use here layout. I think we have not exported the layout. Okay, yes, let's export this one. Export default layout, and we can import it here. Okay, and let's move all of this code inside layout. Okay, so I think this is not the way we have not correct. We need to correct this because we need only one outlet for private, right? Let's copy this again, 1 2 and 3 times, and inside that we will first have this super admin one. Okay, then this admin, and this one user. Okay, and we will need one more component, that is unauthorized .tsx, const unauthorized. Okay, unauthorized component, and here we can write like return a div and message you don't have permission to view this page, and let's export this, export default unauthorized, right? We can use this again. For this we don't need for unauthorized we don't need a private route, so we can directly use it unauthorized, right? And here unauthorized, right? Okay, unauthorized. So when we have to like use this component is when someone is not don't have permission of super admin, right, or admin or user. So private route will do that work for us. So in private route we need to pass like allowed roles. So here we will tell what kind type of like roles uh, we can like pass to this one component. Okay, so allowed roles which will be of type string array. Okay, okay, allowed roles, and this is going to be type. Okay, allowed roles, it will be a string array, right? And how we can pass is we can pass in the like private routes allowed roles. So for whom we will allow all of the like roles like super admin, then uh, roles dot admin, right, again comma user, so everyone can view this uh, home page. Again for super admin, only super admin is allowed. For admin, super admin and admin is allowed to view this. And at this place, okay, at user we will allow super admin, admin or user. All of these three roles can view the user page. Okay, now what we have to do is we have to take the token data, because you know in token data we are getting the roles. Okay, and this method we already have. So if there is, I think token data will be there because we have already validated the token at this place. Okay, so allowed roles should include, okay, should include this token data dot role. Okay, if this is not there we can pass the empty. Suppose it is included, then we don't have to like show the unauthorized. But if it is not included, not, we can like return and navigate here, navigate to the unauthorized. So to here we can write unauthorized or just copy it unauthorized. Okay, I think we are done, and let's test this now. Okay, so some UI is not correct in layout. What we can do is we have here class name, just go to the app.css, and I think here we need pass some layout, navbar, then okay, navbar brand name for this my app, class name, and here navbar brand, then links, navbar links, let's write here class name, and I think main we have used. Okay, yeah, main we have used, so let's paste it. See, so here we have my home. If we go to the home, we, currently we are on home itself. So if we go to the super admin, we are at super admin link or component, and we are able to see the super admin because Bob is a super admin. Then go to the admin, super admin can see the admin page and user page also. So just do logout and create uh, one more user. Let's see, write like Sam. Okay, we have to register first, right? So sam at the rate gmail.com, and role we will keep user, and password again. Let's register, user register, click on the login. Okay, fine. And email sam at the rate gmail.com, and password temp at the 12345. Okay, let's log in. Here we are welcoming to the Sam home. Now go to the super admin. See, you do not have permission to view this page. If you go to the admin, it will again show you do not have permission to view this page. If you go to the user, see, this is a user page, means we are welcoming a user role to the user page. We are welcoming super admin role to view all of the pages, right? If you go to the home, again home is welcoming this Sam. We can do the logout. So this is all what it covers. It covers all of our requirement from the authentication authorization point of view. So if you like this video, just press on the like, subscribe the channel, and for this code, I have given the link in the description, so check out that code so you can get more idea about it. So but to run the backend API, you will need express auth, which I am going to provide. And from readme file, what you have to do is you have to go to the express auth folder, then you have to install the do the npmi, right? So instead of directly doing the nodes server.js, just do the npmi, so your backend will be run, API will be run, right? So that's all for this project. I hope you got the knowledge and you had implemented along with me. So thank you.